Hey guys, Funsho here from We Coach Crypto. Hope you're all doing well and you've enjoyed your weekend. Right, there's a number of things that I want to go through today, okay, and they're all very important and I want to make sure that people are taking note. So first thing, as always, we are on a mission to help 1 million people understand cryptocurrency. So if you have got any questions, you need any help throughout this bear market, this crash that we've been through, please leave questions in the comments or make an appointment with us because we're here to help. Okay. And don't forget about our free Discord that you can join. It is packed full of information and it's the best place for you to learn. Okay. So first thing that I want to talk about, which I am seeing all sorts of information all over the internet about, is Solend. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you now and go into this in a little bit more detail because I feel like there's a lot of information that's been misconstrued and I just want to get down to the nitty gritty of what's actually taking place here. Okay, so guys, Solend's whale liquidation crisis prompts second vote to reverse emergency powers. Now, what happened yesterday is Solend, which is a lending-based autonomous protocol that lives on the Solana blockchain, okay? They had a very large liquidation that was basically going to come in at around $22, $23 of Solana, okay? It was worth $170 million. And the concerns that the protocol had is the knock-on effects that would happen by this being liquidated on a decentralized exchange, on a DEX, because obviously slippage fees, you could be looking at 30, 40% as a fee. Now, they tried reaching out to the whale in question, the wallet owner, to try and settle this particular transaction over the counter, OTC, and they were unable to contact this individual. So what they proposed to do and actually got passed was to take control and settle the transaction off chain and put this to the community with a vote, with governance. There is a lot of information out there that potentially there was one particular wallet that was created that had a lot more voting power than others. Still waiting for 100% clarity on this. But what I do not like is there are a lot of people saying that this is Solana, and it is not Solana. It is Solend. Solend is a protocol for lending Solana, and it lives on the Solana chain. Okay, this is a very small team and project. Okay, I'm just going to show you their website, and we'll scroll down so you can actually see exactly what this protocol is. You will see that it's not called Solana. It's not Solana's website. The concerns with this liquidation could have, systemic risk to the Solana blockchain, crash the network, and obviously a lot of the community would have been affected. So you can see here, this is Solend, okay? And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, so you can see here, this is the team. It only consists of like 7 individuals, and I can understand why they were trying to do this, but ultimately they should not in any way, shape or form be taking control of someone else's wallet and carrying out transactions off the back of it. It's not right. It's not a good look. And it goes against decentralization. Okay, so there are a lot of people that have been kicking off about this on Twitter, and rightly so. And I agree that there should not be a position where people can just take over in this fashion, especially if it's not set out from the offset that this is a possibility. Now, one thing I want to make clear is the uproar that has taken place has actually led to them having a second vote, as I obviously explained briefly on that CoinDesk news story. And I just want to show you what that looks like. Okay, guys, so you can see here, dear Solend community, we've been listening to your criticisms about the SLND1, which was the initial one that they put out, and the way in which it was conducted. The price of SOL has been steadily increasing buying us some time to gather more feedback and consider alternatives. We propose to invalidate the last proposal, increase governance voting time to 1 day, work on a new proposal that does not involve emergency powers to take over an account. We recognise that a voting time of 1 day is still short, but we need to act swiftly to address the systemic risk and fact that normal users can't withdraw USDC. We ask our community to be active in governance in the next few days. Voting time will be revisited in a future proposal. We're committed to protecting user funds, transparency, and doing what's right. Yours truly, Solenti. They should not have gone about it in the way that they did, but I understand why. They were trying to protect everybody in terms of the entire community. They were trying to protect Solana. They were trying to protect their project, Solend. And, you know, it's going to get criticism without question. It will. And I had a really good debate yesterday in our inner circle about this, because regulation is what's missing here. And that is, in my opinion, a key element of what's going to be needed moving forward. Because you've got to ask yourself something, okay? If regulators were taking control of a situation like this, do they put everybody that's at risk forward to make a decision to do something for the good of everyone? Or do they sit back and allow something to happen that could affect everybody and their funds? You know, these are the things that are so important moving forward that need to be put in place. But I just wanted to clear up one major aspect of this that's repeatedly being misconstrued on Twitter, and that is, this is not Solana that have done this. This is Solend, which is a protocol that's built on Solana, right? So this is going to be a big topic moving forward, and let's see what happens with it. But in terms of Solana and Solana's price and Solana as a project and the effects that could happen off the back of this, you know, even with $170 million liquidation, you're talking about an $11 billion market cap as of yesterday with Solana. And there is a lot of to and fro of Solana. Some people don't like it. Some people complain about the outages. You know, it's new tech. We're all learning. We're all moving forward. Anyway, moving on from Solend. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is another major debate that came up in our Discord yesterday, is where to keep your cryptocurrency. Okay. This is a big thing to cover because the market is very, very fragile right now. Now, I can take you back to 2018. Okay. I remember it like it was yesterday. There were a number of exchanges that went down and users' funds were lost. So, is it a smart move to keep crypto on an exchange? Now, there are big exchanges out there. And one of the discussions that came up was, well, if you've got crypto on multiple large exchanges and you diversify those funds, then you're lowering your risk. Yes, that is right, 100%. But at the same time, you could hold funds on a hardware wallet. And by doing that, that hardware wallet is not going to go down if the market continues to go down. Exchanges have got the possibility of going down. It's that simple. And what we don't know, which is another topic of conversation that is hot around the crypto space, is whether some of these exchanges have been liquidated themselves. Okay, you look at the Celsius situation. If any of these crypto exchanges are in a very bad position right now, it's not apparent to everybody because they don't all trade publicly. You can't go and look at all of their balance sheets. You don't know what position they're in. So that to me is a major reason why I don't believe the safest option is keeping your crypto on an exchange. Then there's the argument that you can have with a hardware wallet that, well, what if you lose your seed? Then, yeah, of course, you're screwed. You can't access your crypto. But at the same time, if you're vigilant about what you're doing, make a couple of copies of it, put them in different locations, etc., and you take care of it, then you're absolutely fine. But it's a big conversation. I just want to share my screen just to go over some of the pros and cons, because I want to make sure that people have got all the information necessary for them to then make their own decisions on where they want to keep their crypto. But that common saying that everybody has, not your keys, not your crypto, is apparent. And people need to realize that it's a headache to not have your crypto on an exchange, especially during a period like this. If you want to have buy orders in place for Bitcoin coming down or Ethereum coming down so that you're scaling in, it's a lot more difficult to do it using a hardware wallet. Obviously, Ledger, with their Ledger Live platform, have a built-in swap facility working with a third-party exchange. The fees are higher, but it's another way that people can get access to be able to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other major cryptocurrencies. But you still got to remember, guys, safety is the number one priority during times like this, because this is a huge crash. There is a major global catastrophe that is round the corner, and it's playing out consistently at the moment. And people need to realize that safety has to be their number one priority. That's all I've got to say on that matter. But I am going to share a bit of info just from this Investopedia page about where the best place is to keep your crypto. If you could share that for me, Reese. So what are the safest ways to store Bitcoin? Okay, so after reaching a peak in late 2017 and subsequently fading from popularity, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have experienced another significant surge through 2019, 2020, surpassing their previous all-time highs. As this has taken place, so too have the number of publicized hacking events increasing as well. So given that many investors are new to the system, may not know how to keep their investments secure, hackers are coming up with ingenious ways of stealing funds. Some of the most prominent thefts have been those that have taken place in plain sight. Some hacks even blatantly reroute tokens bound from one wallet for another. The victims watch as their tokens are stolen away from them with nothing they can do about it. So users can lose Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency tokens as a result of theft, computer failure, loss of access keys, and more. Cold storage or offline wallets is one of the safest methods for holding Bitcoin, as these wallets are not accessible via the internet, but hot wallets are still convenient for some users. Those interested in the safest storage should consider using a hardware wallet for all of their long-term Bitcoin and cryptocurrency storage. Just the way we keep cash or cards in a physical wallet, Bitcoins are also stored in a wallet, a digital wallet. So, look, I'm not going to go too much into this. I've covered the main things that needed to be spoken about. Okay. And I'm very passionate about the fact, because I've seen billions of dollars on the internet of people that have lost crypto by having it on real low end exchanges, not looking after it, falling foul to different scams, etc. And it's just, for me, a no-brainer that if you've got crypto and you want to keep it safe, that you've got it stored away on a hardware wallet. Okay, it is more of a headache, yes, but safety needs to be everyone's number one priority at the moment. Okay, now the next thing that I want to come over to, okay, is stocks. So look, the crypto market's not the only one that's suffering right now. This is affecting markets globally, all right? And it's been the worst quarter in 2 years for stocks, okay? And it's not looking great. It's not looking like it's just going to fix itself overnight, okay? We've got to look at what the Federal Reserve are doing. They raised rates by 0.75 basis points, okay? Unless they lower them or leave them as they are, I don't see the crypto market exploding in value. There are a number of things that I'm going to talk about briefly after this that is either going to make this market come flying down further or have a big upturn. But one of the major things that people need to take into consideration is that the Federal Reserve is going to go one way or the other, and that's going to have a massive impact on the market without question. So if you can share the screen for me, please. Let's take a look. So you can see here, Wall Street's classic strategy set for worst quarter than 2008. Balanced allocation trade craters in age of elevated inflation, hedging power of bonds pits JP Morgan asset against Goldman. And if we scroll down a little bit further, and all of these links, by the way, that I've gone through today, we will share in the comments below for you. So Wall Street pros are famously still at loggerheads over the fate of the $1 trillion 60-40 complex. Only this time, the balanced investment strategy is posting losses on a scale that's shocking even its biggest critics. With stocks and treasuries tumbling, thanks to the Federal Reserve's increasingly hawkish policy direction, the time-honoured method of allocating 60% to equities and 40% to fixed income has plunged about 14% so far this quarter. That's a worse quarterly showing than in-depths of the global financial crisis and during the once-in-a-century pandemic rout, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. Okay, that information there, guys, okay, should be enough for you to think to yourself, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad on a global scale, right? When people are talking about this on the 2008 basis, on the pandemic basis, and we still are not anywhere near finished yet, okay? It's scary. It's scary on a global scale. But what can we do to protect ourselves, protect our crypto, understand what opportunities lie ahead? Okay, first and foremost, security. I've been over that. Yeah, make sure your crypto is as safe as possible. Don't take any chances. Number two, is the bottom in? Where is the bottom? And even if the bottom isn't in, is it a fantastic buying opportunity right now? And do you expect the crypto market to bounce back, whether it's in a year, whether it's in 2 years? Right, I'm telling you now, I believe the crypto market is going to absolutely fire back. Now, all of these things that are going on that are scary, that are affecting all markets, some of that money, and there is a lot of it, has got to go into commodities, gold, silver, and in my opinion, crypto, in particular, Bitcoin, right? So that's where the opportunity is, in my eyes. It's looking at stores of value in the crypto space, trying to get a good understanding of whether the bottom is finally in, which we need bullish divergence on. We need to build a structure, see a floor, and see that, you know, all the dust has settled and we're starting to move in the right direction. Then we can scoop up and continue to buy quality projects that we believe are going to get through this entire period and flourish at the end of it. Okay, that's what I believe people should be doing right now. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that I believe could have negative effects on the market and send it down further than where it is right now. First and foremost is the Federal Reserve. Okay, so if the Fed continue to raise these rates, then it's going to have pressure on the stock market, the crypto market, the bond market. That is a fact. If they keep things how they are, we could react quite positively. If they reduce them, you'll probably see the crypto market explode, right? Now, other negative things. We've got to take into consideration MicroStrategy, okay? Now, MicroStrategy own a great deal of Bitcoin. If they were to sell some or all of that Bitcoin, that is not going to be good for the market, and you will see more people selling off, in my opinion. Okay. The other thing that you've got to think about is Tether, right? Now, regardless of whether it's FUD or not, for about a year now, people have been talking about Tether and could it depeg? and can they back up every single penny of it? Now, I've told my entire community not to hold USDT as their liquidity long term, because it's not worth taking the risk. And if it does depeg and does come down, it's going to have catastrophic effects on the crypto market. Okay, and these are all ifs and buts, guys, but I just want to make sure I'm sharing as much info as I possibly can. So Tether is another one that can have a massive negative effect on the market. Okay, the other ones to mention is, you know, the likes of Three Arrows Capital and Celsius. We don't know how much damage has been done to other companies yet. Okay, it's too early to tell. So there might be, well, I say might be, there are going to be a number of other companies and projects out there that are going to come out with bad news, and it's going to affect their customers. Okay, that to me is just like a given. So time will tell as to, you know, how bad things really are. Then you've also got this war that is going on. If we see any form of nuclear war, it's going to be really bad for the crypto market, without question. Okay, so that's like my terrible outlook on the crypto market. The positive side, which I want to make people aware of, is I believe that right now the current price is, you're still picking everything up at a steal. You really are. Okay, if you look at the previous all-time highs for cryptocurrencies, and then you think about historically what it's managed to do every time it's come back, you're picking stuff up at a ridiculous discount right now, and you know you should be scaling it. Now, spot ETF is another one. If we see a spot ETF get approved by the SEC, you're going to see positive outcome with the crypto market. Okay, you've also got obviously the Fed lowering rates. If they lower rates, that's going to have a really positive effect on the market, because you'll see the stock market start to come up, then you're going to see the crypto market start to come up, and that's going to be a great thing. The other thing that I want to talk about is a new country. Okay, if we see one or two other countries say we're legalizing Bitcoin, that's going to have positive effects on the market. And then lastly, a major treasury. Okay, so if we see a major treasury, a major brand company come and do a major purchase of Bitcoin, and we're at the right type of price where we've seen big institutions and major treasuries pick it up before, that again is going to have a really positive effect on the marketplace. So look, we're on a knife edge at the moment with this market. We really are. Okay, and it could come down lower. The bottom might be in and we might start coming up higher, but there are so many other factors, like I've mentioned today, that we need to see play out to give us further confirmation on which direction this market is going to go. Okay, but as always, guys, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to join our free Discord, where you can take advantage of all of this kind of information that we share regularly, and you can talk to myself and the rest of the We Coach Crypto team. Okay, and I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next video. Take care. With